Hi, I'm Aaron Van Dyne with Sponzilli Landscape Group, and welcome to 9 Polito Way, Lyndhurst, New Jersey. Today I'm going to talk to you about a public courtyard design that we created for a longtime maintenance client of ours. Let me show you around. Management was hoping to create something special for the tenants of this building. One thing the building lacked was an open seating area, so they came to Sponzilli Landscape Group with the hopes of creating a cutting-edge seating area that stands apart from other buildings in the area. So our team met with management and came up with a laundry list of features and items that needed to be included in the overall design. Our team of designers then presented a landscape plan and 3D perspectives to the client with the items that I'm about to show you. Let's talk a little bit about the construction process and some of the features that we're about to see. Our team first started by removing all the vegetation that we had in this area. As I said before, this area did not exist, okay? So we came through and we stripped all the vegetation out, and then our masonry team came in and installed the brick paving pattern that you see here in this circular courtyard design. We collaborated with a team of contractors that we work closely with to install the overhead umbrellas and the tables. And what's great about the overhead umbrellas is it casts a lot of shade in an area where we don't have any overhead trees. So it is great for daytime when people are eating lunch and they just don't want the sun beating on their shoulders. Over here is my favorite part of the overall design, and this is the custom water feature that is actually centered on the doors of the building. So when tenants and people visiting are exiting the building, they have a nice focal point right here in the center of the courtyard, and will draw people into this area as well. Probably its best benefit is that it drowns out a lot of outside noises. There's a lot of tractor trailers driving by here. There's a lot of planes. There is actually a lot of noise. So when you're sitting in this area and you're reading a book or having lunch, it's nice to listen to trickling water rather than motor vehicles driving by. When developing a planting plan for a project such as this, it's important to keep in mind that you need to provide color throughout all the seasons. You have a lot of people coming and going from January all the way through August, so it's important that throughout the winter months there's life in the landscape, and then as spring, summer, and fall come, the landscape evolves and different shrubs and perennials and grasses come to life. I'm walking through the entrance garden here at 9 Polito, and I chose this area because this is a great mixture of evergreen shrubs and deciduous shrubs. For instance, here we have the drift rose, which just finished flowering. The great thing about this plant is it will go dormant for about 2 weeks and then return with profuse flowers. And this will happen all the way into Thanksgiving. As time goes on, as part of the design, these plants will grow into one solid mass. So when people pull up to the building, they'll have a burst of hot pink color coming from the drift roses, okay? Some of the other plants we find in here are the gold thread cypress. So the gold thread cypress maintain its color throughout all seasons and add a little pop of color in the wintertime, and really complements the hot pink color that you get in the summertime from the drift roses. On all our projects, especially on commercial projects, we always like to leave some areas open for annual plantings. On this project, we have a large mass of annuals right at the entrance with multiple colors, and the design is that they will grow into one solid mass once again and really be striking when you enter the building, okay? There'll be a few other spots around that we add in some annuals, but for the most part, from a landscaping planting design perspective, we like to favor plants that the customer doesn't need to spend money on every single year. So the perennials and the evergreen shrubs, deciduous shrubs, and trees, which will just keep growing into the landscape. And then have certain areas where we can dot in a few annuals is basically the rule of thumb. It's very important when planning to select the right plant material for the space. For instance, in here, I'm standing amongst hydrangeas. These are Annabelle hydrangeas. They get a white flower on them, okay? These will bloom from now all the way until August. But what you find is repetition of the hydrangeas throughout the landscape, and then there's other plants such as roses, there's catmints. All of these plants have a designated period of the year where they bloom. So when proper planning, it's important to understand blooming times so that you have a landscape that's always thriving and there's always something going on. Otherwise, what can happen is if you favor one time of the year and don't really understand your plants so well, you can end up with what we call a dead landscape, which is something that, for instance, in August when you pull up, there might not be a whole lot of life there. Thank you for joining me on my walkthrough of our recently completed project at 9 Polito, Lyndhurst, New Jersey. I hope you enjoyed it.